Hi everyone, this is my Philodendron Pink Princess. This is the number 3 one. This was a clipping before, and I believe this was the beginning of the clipping. I know I haven't really updated this as often. I didn't even do a first vlog of it, and I do apologize for that to myself initially and to everybody else that does follow my vlogs. So I will put down below the type of soil that I do use. I did add some orchid bark and some cactus soil. And she used to be, for a really long time, she was about 6 to 8 feet away from an east-facing window, and don't worry, she was getting some light artificially. She was getting plant light, and I will also put that in the description section as well, so also do check that out. I do water her. I do add fertilizer every time I do water her. I water her. The soonest I do check is every 7 days to see if she needs to be watered or not. The maximum I've noticed when she was about 6 to 8 feet away from a window was 21 days that I would water her. So between, depending on what she needs, I will check every 7 days. And sometimes I water her in between 7 to 21 days. So with this one, these small growths, I believe that was because she wasn't really getting a ton of light, even the plant light. So I did move her closer to an east-facing window, right directly at an east-facing window. And she's only been there about a week, maybe less. And so far, it's been okay. And also, just some tips when people are wondering about how to not burn your leaves. So how not to burn your leaves is to make sure you don't water the leaves or water above the leaves unless it's going to be at the end of the day. So if you want to spritz them, I don't really spritz or have a humidifier for any of my plants. If you do that, if you just started to do that, just make sure you know you're going to have to change the watering. So if you used to water them every 5 to 7 days, you might be watering them between 7 to 10 days or 7 to 14 days, because the humidity and the spritzing will add moisture to them and they're not going to need to be watered as often. So just remember that. As I mentioned, I do fertilize every single time I water, and I will add the nutrients that I do use in the description section. To be honest, this is a very low maintenance plant for me. Very low maintenance. I just check when she needs to be watered and water when that happens. Also, when I first started with philodendrons, I started with the hydrasum, and I thought, because that would be a very easy beginner philodendron, and I was right. And I would suggest to do that before going to variegated, more unique, harder to acquire plants versus a plant that you can see anywhere and it's easier to grow. What I've noticed with philodendrons, there's a rule of thumb with them. They need to be dry but not overly dry. So what does that mean? What it means is that if you do water, and let's just say when you lift this up, there's still a little bit of moisture in the saucer, I don't water them. Even if the top looks a little bit, even if your reminder started and it said, oh, you haven't watered in 10 days, and the top looks a bit dry, there's still moisture in the bottom and you do top water, do not water them. They're still a little damp, a little moist, even if it's not visible to you. That's from my personal experience. Also, what I do try to do is make sure the top is totally dry, and when I lift, it's not heavy. It shouldn't be weighing like it's empty. If it weighs like it's empty, your philodendron is probably close to dying, or it just kind of looks like it's struggling, but it could be dry rot, which you might have to clip it. That means you have to propagate it and just hope that it will start to sprout out new roots. If it's dry rot, that means your roots are dead. Again, it's a very easy plant for me. I just water and keep it where it is, and this is what she looks like. Yep, this was a clipping, and she seems to be doing okay. Yep, here she is. So, again, I've only really noticed that my pink princesses do thrive on east-facing windows. I've never put them on a west-facing window. Any variegated leaves, any variegated plants, I would really question when putting them on a west-facing window. Most variegated plants, especially if they're very thin like this one, this is very sensitive, it's going to be very difficult and they will burn on a west-facing window. It's just a harsher light. What I did notice though is that my Philodendron Birkins can survive in a west-facing window, but it's my darkest west-facing window and they're not directly at the window. They are, I would say, 6 to 10 inches away from that window. So here it is. Thank you everyone for the love and support, and always hit the like so that it will help with my my numbers, and of course subscribe for updates on this plant and other plants. Thank you everyone for the love and support, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.
Bye.